What really started World War I? Most people learn a simple answer. One assassination, one angry empire, and then the world exploded. But that explanation is too easy. Because the man who was killed in Sarajevo was not the real reason Europe fell into war. The bullet was only the spark. The fire had been waiting for years. And that raises the real question. If one event did not start the war, then what did? To understand it, we have to look at a Europe that was already packed with fear, pride, and hidden danger. At the beginning of the 1900s, Europe was full of powerful empires. Britain ruled the seas, Germany was rising fast, France wanted revenge for an earlier defeat, Russia was huge but unstable, Austria-Hungary was old and fragile, everyone was watching everyone else, and none of them trusted each other. That matters because World War I did not begin in one day. It was built piece by piece. Over time, countries signed alliances, built armies, and prepared for a war they claimed they did not want. The strange part is this. The more leaders tried to protect themselves, the more dangerous the world became. Think about it. If one country felt threatened, it made an alliance. Then another country felt threatened and did the same. Soon Europe was divided into two huge blocks. If one nation went to war, its friends might be pulled in automatically. A local crisis could now become a continental disaster. And then came the spark. In June 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austrian throne, visited Sarajevo. He was shot and killed by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist. This is the event everyone remembers. It was shocking. It was real. And it mattered. But here is the key point. Assassinations had happened before. What made this one so dangerous was the world around it. Austria-Hungary saw the killing as a chance to punish Serbia. Serbia was seen as a threat because some Serbs wanted to unite all Slavic people under one state, and that threatened the Austrian Empire. Germany supported Austria-Hungary. Russia backed Serbia. France stood with Russia. Britain was drawn in next. Then one order after another was issued, and the giant machine of war started moving. But did anyone still have a chance to stop it? Yes. And that is one of the most painful parts of the story. In the weeks after the assassination, leaders made choices that turned a crisis into a catastrophe. Some believed war would be short. Some believed their enemies would back down. Some believed mobilizing armies would force peace. Instead, mobilization looked like aggression. A defensive move became a threat. Every nation was afraid of being the one left behind. And here is something many people do not realize. The military plans themselves made peace harder. Once armies began moving by train and once schedules were in motion, stopping became extremely difficult. The system was built for speed, not flexibility. That meant leaders had less time to think and more pressure to act. So what really started World War I? It was not only the assassination, it was the tension underneath it, national pride, fear, rivalries, colonial competition, a dangerous network of alliances, military plans that rewarded speed over caution, and leaders who believed they could control a crisis that had already grown beyond them. The evidence is clear. The war had deeper roots than one bullet. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand was the trigger, But the gunpowder had been laid long before in the politics of Europe. Some historians argue that Germany's support for Austria-Hungary was the key turning point. Others point to the rigid alliance system. Some focus on Russian mobilization or the aggressive attitude of several leaders. The truth is that no single country and no single moment can fully explain it. World War I began because a fragile piece was sitting on top of a dangerous system. And that is the biggest revelation. The First World War was not an accident in the simple sense. It was the result of years of choices that made war more likely, until one shocking event pushed everything over the edge. So when we ask what really started World War I, the answer is not just Sarajevo. It is the entire world that led to Sarajevo, a world where empires were scared, where nations armed themselves for a conflict they hoped would never come, and where, in the end, too many people believed the crisis would pass. It did not. It became a war that changed borders, destroyed empires, and reshaped the future of humanity. And it all began with a system so unstable that one shot was enough to break it.